Welcome to Designing Spaces, Think Green, a show that's all about you, your living space, and living a more eco-friendly lifestyle. I'm your host, Ted Brunson. Today we must look at the environment as part of our economy, health, and community. The air we breathe, the water so necessary for life, and the energy required to power civilization must all be integrated into what we like to call a green lifestyle. A healthy environment means healthier lifestyles for all of us. Designing Spaces knows that it's time to take care of our home, the ultimate living space, planet Earth. Indoor air quality and safety are two things directly related to drywall in our homes. Now, gypsum drywall board contributes to both of those, and when made by the right manufacturer, can actually be considered green. Not all drywall is created equal, and our own Debbie Marie is on the story.
Calcium sulfate, better known as gypsum, the main component used in wallboard for home construction for over 100 years. It's easy to install, provides fire resistance, and is a very cost-effective way to finish a room with a clean, professional look. During the recent housing boom, there were periods of time when domestic sources of this important building material became scarce. Roughly from the period of 2004 to 2007, a small percentage of the total wallboard demand was met by a product imported from China. As has been widely investigated and documented by state and federal officials, a portion of the imported Chinese wallboard was defective. And when installed in homes, the defective product created a rotten egg smell and blackening of some electrical wiring. Think Green has gotten together with one of the USA's leading manufacturers of gypsum wallboard to learn what goes into making this material used in so many homes and how locally manufactured wallboard differs from defective imported products. We're here with Mandis Mortimer, National Gypsum's manager for technical marketing, and we're going to have an education today on wallboard. Mandis, welcome to Think Green.
It's great to be here, Debbie.
Now, as we know, not all wallboard is created equal, as we've seen with the incident with the Chinese-made product, but National Gypsum actually has a product made here in Florida that has a different manufacturing process. So can we talk about that process?
Certainly. Just about all of the product that we supply into Florida is made at our Apollo Beach plant, and we're particularly proud of that plant. It was named as one of the top 10 plants in the whole country, or actually in North America, by Industry Week magazine. And we have extremely tight processes around the raw materials coming into the plant, our products that we make, obviously, and the processes we use and what goes out the door, both regarding quality and safety. So we're particularly proud of that. We have a full network of plants that use the same state-of-the-art processes throughout the country so that we can be a local provider throughout the United States.
So I understand that National Gypsum's wallboard is a sustainable product. What makes it sustainable?
Well, one of the things about it that is sustainable is that we use byproduct gypsum. And to tell you a little bit about that process, when power companies clean their emissions, they have a manufacturing process to do that. And the result of that is byproduct gypsum, or calcium sulfate, which is the exact same thing as this gypsum rock. That comes out of the ground and is used in our natural rock plants, and then the byproduct gypsum is used in our other plants like the one here in Apollo Beach.
That's incredible. So this is what makes it a green product.
This and the fact that we use 100% recycled paper for the face and backing, and that's made in our paper plants from what you threw out at the curbside yesterday: newsprint, magazines, end trimmings, cardboard boxes.
That is so interesting.
It is.
Okay, moving on. I like that. How can I tell if the wallboard in my home is manufactured by National Gypsum?
Well, before I talk about that, I think it's important for consumers to know that the Consumer Product Safety Commission tested all of the domestic wallboard manufacturers as well as the defective product that came in from China for emissions. And what they found was a marked difference between the two. The domestic product had none of the harmful emissions that are associated with the Chinese wallboard. So that's important for consumers to know, and for them to see what's in their home. They can look at the intakes before the board is installed. And then once it's installed, if they look on the back of the board, they'll see a manufacturer's code, the time that the board was made, the date that it was made, and the company that made it.
Very good.
And then you'll also see it stamped Made in the USA.
Made in the USA.
And then on the face of the board at National Gypsum, we mark our board with our patented grid marks, which help the contractors to align the board with the studs for faster installation. And then we also print our name on the face of the board, so that a consumer can see instantly that National Gypsum made their product.
It covered everything. You make it very easy. I like that. If I don't have any problems with Chinese drywall, what other indoor air quality issues should I consider?
Well, there's three things that consumers should be aware of. The first would be the prevention of mold, the reduction of dust on the job site, and then using low-emitting materials.
And what type of products should I look for to improve the indoor air environment?
Well, we make a complete line of mold-resistant products for indoor use, and that would be our XP family, which can be identified by our original purple color.
That's easy enough.
And in wet areas, you would want to use a cement backer board like our PermaBase product. And for finishing, you'd want to use a low-dust joint compound like our Dust Tech. And then lastly, our entire portfolio of products is Green Guard certified for indoor air quality or children's in school certification.
Tell me more about Green Guard.
Well, Green Guard is the most widely known certification for indoor air quality, and they rely on the industry's most stringent chamber testing. Our products are tested for over 10,000 chemicals for the off-gassing that can cause symptoms such as headaches, dizziness, asthma, and allergies. And in order to maintain this certification, we go through quarterly retesting.
That is so good. Where can our viewers go to find more information about National Gypsum?
Viewers should go to nationalgypsum.com and drywallfacts.com.
Easy enough. Well, Lindy, thank you so much for being here today and really showing us how drywall and other related materials can actually contribute to a healthy indoor environment. We appreciate it.
Well, Debbie, thank you for having us here today. We were very excited to be here and to be able to talk about how our products can contribute to a safe and healthy home.
I think we've done that, so thank you. Well, you will find a link to their website on our website at designingspaces.tv and click Think Green. You can view any part of this segment or any part of the show over as well. For Think Green, I'm Debbie Marie.
Here on Think Green, we believe that being aware of your environment is the first step into living a greener lifestyle that benefits us all. There's more to see. Take a look. Once only found in commercial and multifamily occupancies, fire sprinkler systems are now being offered as a standard feature in many new homes across the country. Fire sprinkler systems provide added peace of mind for buyers and a competitive advantage for the home builder. But does it also help the environment? Hi there and welcome to Designing Spaces Think Green. I'm Ted Brunson in beautiful Madison, Wisconsin. You can see a lot of the new construction going on here. This place is absolutely booming. I'm standing next to Matthew Kuwach of Blazemaster Fire Sprinkler Systems. Matthew, thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here, Ted.
Okay, listen, fire sprinklers, when I think of them, I think of two things. Obviously, save the people inside and also save the house. But after speaking with you, you made it very clear that there's a third element, and that is help save the environment. So expand on that a little bit.
Think of it this way. Annually, there's about 400,000 homes that are caught on fire. Think of all those homes catching on fire and releasing toxic emissions up into the air. And then you have the fire department come in, and they're putting out the fire, and all the water from putting out the fire is released into the soil and out into the runoff out in the streets. That's a significant environmental issue. In addition, when a fireman comes into the house to put out the fire hoses use about 8.5 times as much water as the sprinkler heads do. Wow. So a lot less water with sprinklers and a lot less toxic fumes in the air. And then the other part of that to look at is the landfill. A lot of those homes have to be demolished, and all that construction debris has to be thrown into landfills.
And you're not putting that carbon footprint that we know is so dangerous right now to the environment. Now, no more talk outside. We're going to go inside and check out this new construction and see exactly what Blazemaster is doing. Lead the way, dude. All right, take a deep breath. What's that smell, Matthew?
It smells like a new house to me.
New construction, and you love that because Blazemaster, as we can see right here in the framing, has already made its mark. Now, we were talking before, there are two types of sprinkler systems, standalone and a multi-purpose. Please explain to me and the viewers what the differences are.
A standalone is exactly that. It's a sprinkler system, dedicated piping system feeding the sprinkler heads. A multi-purpose system is using the same piping, however you're coming off of it with plumbing piping to supply water to things like the toilet or the sinks.
The cold water, basically.
That's right.
But the problem is if you turn the cold water off, I'm imagining the sprinkler system is off.
Right.
But on the other hand, thinking environmentally and thinking green, you're using less piping, right?
That's right.
Okay, so it kind of works for everybody.
Yeah.
All right, now let's fast forward here. Let's imagine that this house is finished. The drywall is up, the family's living in here, completely done, finished home, but they don't have a sprinkler system. But then they realize they do want a sprinkler system. Can a family put a system into a home that's already finished?
Definitely. I mean, it's going to be a little bit more complicated because you have drywall, but with BlazeMaster, you just make small little cuts in the wall and you slide the pipe up. You can bend a little bit. Keeps your costs down, the minimal disruption. Mm-hmm. It's quick to install and cost effective.
So it's really not invasive hardly at all.
Not really.
Right? Okay. And I'm imagining, though, that you can only use a standalone system because the cold water is already being fed, so no multi-purpose system.
Right. I mean, your plumbing's already situated. All you're putting in is your sprinkler system, which is a standalone at that point.
Are you impressed with me so far?
I'm very impressed.
I'm catching on, right?
Yes.
All right.
Come on, I want to show you something downstairs. Okay, Ted, this is what I want to show you. The orange BlazeMaster CPC pipe is the pipe that's used to supply the water to the sprinkler heads, and also the cold water to the plumbing, and that's used to supply the water to the toilets and the sinks in the home.
Okay, so just to reiterate, this is a multi-purpose system because the main larger orange BlazeMaster CPVC pipe is actually the main water source for all of the sprinkler system and the cold water, because we've kind of got this tributary, this arm coming off for all the cold water, as you said. It is not a standalone, it's a multi-purpose, right?
That's right.
All right, catching on, I'm telling you. Now, let's talk about aesthetics. Once the sprinkler heads are in the finished house, on the ceiling, how do they look? Because I've got this picture of, like, you know, the big gold things hanging down in the hotel rooms.
Right.
Not that way, right?
Well, actually, in this home, we have a concealed residential sprinkler head. The way this works is this is flush with the ceiling here, this piece here. They come in different colors. You can order them, but most people have white ceilings. So in this case, this is going to be up in the ceiling. At 135 degrees Fahrenheit, this thing pops off.
Okay.
And the sprinkler head comes down. And around 155 degrees Fahrenheit, there's an element inside. That melts, and then the water comes out. Every sprinkler head is individually heat activated. The movies do a bad job of when a fire happens, all the sprinkler heads go off. It's not like that.
You brought up my next question, and I'm glad that you already answered it because, yeah, you do have that vision. So what you're saying is if there's a fire in the kitchen, these are going to pop down in the kitchen, but my family room and my brand new plasma TV that I spent a couple grand on is going to be safe, right?
Oh, it'll be safe.
Good, and that's going to keep me and my wife happy as well.
That's good.
Yeah. Quite the impressive setup in there, Matthew. If people want to learn more about your company, where can they go?
They can go to www.blazemaster.com.
And Matthew Q. Watch, I want to thank you personally for showing us not only the safety side of sprinkler systems, but the environmental side that I didn't know.
Thanks for being here, Ted.
How we as individuals affect the environment starts in the home. New designs and materials are now available to help make our houses more energy efficient and healthier for our lifestyles.
Soybeans, the scientific name for them is glycine mac. This species of legumes is known for adding nitrogen back into the ground and adding protein into diets. It also offers twice as much protein per acre than any other vegetable crop. But there's a lot more to the picture than meets the eye. To help explain a little bit more, Mike Fusco with Urethane Soy Systems joins us today on Think Green. Hi, Mike.
Hi.
Tell us a little bit about polyols first.
Polyols are the building blocks of plastics. All plastics are created by reacting a polyol with other chemicals.
And then what is polyurethane?
Polyurethane is a specific kind of plastic. The seats in your car, furniture seats, cushions in your couch, the dashboard of your car, insulation in your home are all examples of polyurethanes.
And how does this all play into biorenewable?
Biorenewable is the ability to recreate your product every year instead of using it up and destroying it like we do with petrochemical-based products. We grow soybeans every year, we recreate the oil, we recreate the polyol.
Trucks full of soybeans arrive at the plant, and the soybeans are sampled for quality. Those beans that meet the quality standards are dropped in the conveyor system. The beans are then moved to a drying silo where the moisture is reduced to a processing level. The beans are moved to a hopper, which separates them into a machine where they are heated to remove the hulls and fibers. Others are ground up for later use. Then they are moved to the flakers, where the beans are crushed into flakes. These flakes are moved to the extraction building. Here, the oil that has been turned into polyol is tested at various stages of production to assure that strict adherence to quality procedures is followed. We've been talking a lot about biorenewable, but what's the difference between biorenewable and biodegradable?
I'm glad you asked that question because it comes up a lot. Biorenewable simply means that the material we're creating can be grown every year. It's biologically renewable, it can be regrown. We don't use it, destroy it, it's over. Biodegradable means at the end of its useful life, you put it into a landfill and it decomposes back to its original chemicals. Urethane is not biodegradable, and even though we're using soy, which in and of itself may be biodegradable, it's still urethane when we make it. It is not biodegradable.
Now we've got one more lab to see.
We do. That's the formulation lab. Let's head over that way now.
In the formulation lab, polyol is turned into urethane plastics. The chemical engineers create winning combinations, which are mixed in various machines, all to produce foams for many purposes.
This is an example of what we do. The customer came to us and said, I need a seat that meets a specific set of parameters. We'll come into the lab, we'll start to mix things, we'll start to make seats, we'll start to make little changes here and there to get to the customer exactly what it is he asked for. This is what we're talking about when we talk about the same quality. The petrochemical supplier currently for the customer told the customer he can't help him, but we take it on because we want to make sure that people understand that the soy oil that we make is a polyol that delivers the same quality as the existing petrochemical polyols.
Mike, we've had a fascinating day today going from the field to the factory. We really appreciate your time and that of the team at Urethane Soy Systems for taking us around and for helping lessen America's dependence on petrochemicals. Where can folks go if they want to learn more?
We have a website, soyoil.com.
And of course, you can also go to designspaces.tv and click on the Think Green section. Thanks for joining us today, and don't forget to think green. I'm Jolene Letcher in Volga, South Dakota.
Very cool and very smart. This is Smart's new all-electric drive vehicle. Check this out. It's got 84 miles per charge, or 4 to 5 hours of city driving. Personally, I can't think of a better way to reduce your carbon footprint than driving an all-electric vehicle. When you first look at this car, you say, wow, that thing is just way too small. But when you look actually in the back area, it really does have a lot of trunk space. I mean, I can get my golf clubs and my wife's in there. What is this? This is, well, it's a portable charger. We mentioned earlier that this car is all electric, and I'm going to prove it to you. Right here, this is not a gas tank. This is the charging station. So you just plug this bad boy in, like that, click. So you just plug this end into the wall. You charge this thing up. In a few hours, you're good to go. Let's take a look inside at what you got. You know, there's actually a lot of room in this car. I'm 6 feet. You could be about 6'4", 6'5", and be really comfortable. And with some room for groceries or golf clubs or whatever. Now, right now the car is on. You can't even hear it. I'll turn it off. Now let's turn it back on. and it's on. You hear no engine whatsoever because it's a battery right below where I'm sitting. Good stereo. We're not going to crank that up right now, but here's something I find really interesting. First of all, we've got about 29% left on the battery. That should get us, I would say, about 30 miles before we have to recharge this thing. This is your gauge about how the battery's doing. When you hit the gas, it goes to minus or negative, obviously. I say gas because we're all used to saying gas. When you hit the acceleration pedal, it hits the minus. When you're coasting, if you're in a mountainous region, you're coasting down a hill, it actually goes to plus and it charges the battery while you're coasting. When you're sitting idle, it does not charge it, but if you're coasting down a nice little road, you're actually charging your battery. Not bad. For Designing Spaces, Think Green, I'm Ted Brunson. See you next time.
For more information about anything you've seen on today's show or to find out how to be part of the show, log on to designingspaces.tv. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/dspacestv or friend us on Facebook. Type in the words Designing Spaces. You can visit these websites to learn more about the participants on this edition of Designing Spaces.